everybody, Damon here, the illustrious Gnome O'Tone, still at home, locked down forever it would seem, but things are getting better, so get vaccinated, remember it's important. So what I want to do is I've been having a load of fun with the amazing AmpliTube 5 from IK Multimedia, which you can see I have up here, which is absolutely brilliant, a real step forward I think. I've always used AmpliTube and it's great, but what I thought might be interesting is to compare the models for, you know, just to get a real idea of how good this stuff is. Try some of the models against the real versions. Now I don't have anything Marshally or Voxy here, they're locked up, but what I do have here in the studio is one of my favourite amps of all time, probably the amp that I've gigged more than any other here, is a Fender Reissue 59 Bassman, lacquered tweed Bassman, which I love. So everything you'd expect, chimey, grindy, gorgeousness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Les Paul and Strat, and I'm going to record this. I've got an SM57 in front of it, and it's got a little bit of plate reverb from the Fender Reverb pedal, so a little bit of plate reverb. I've created the same preset on AmpliTube 5, and just to be completely nerdy and somewhat completist, I have programmed my Line 6 Helix Stomp for exactly the same thing. Okay, so in all accounts we have got a tube screamer in front of it to give it a bit of drive. So we've got a TS8 in front of the amp, we've got a little lovely green TS8 here, a little green Meanie here on AmpliTube, and I've also programmed it into the Helix Stomp. So we've got a TS8 in front of it and a little bit of plate reverb after it, all on the normal channel. So normal channel on the amp, normal channel on AmpliTube, normal channel on the HX Stomp. So I'm going to play some fairly average guitar through all three setups with this, clean, with the Tube Screamer, Strat and Les Paul, and then we can have a proper think about and hear which sounds the best. Or indeed, do they sound close to the real amp, or do they sound better than the real amp? Do they sound different but better? Or shite? We'll see. Who knows? Right, okay, let's do it. This is going to be a lot of fun. Let's get on with it. Cheers. That's really interesting, man. Couple of things spring to mind. There is nothing greater than sitting in front of an amp that's not cranked. I mean, this thing's cranked up, sounds absolutely amazing. But something that we're missing out on today, guitarists these days are missing out on, is that amazing visceral realism of standing in front of a loud valve amp. You know, with the proliferation of bedroom players, amazing technicians, but you know, a lot of it sounds, there's no real power, and I think what we're missing is getting out there and the feeling of standing in front of a Bassman cranked up, or a Plexi cranked up, or an AC30 or whatever. The other thing that is very apparent is that there's an enormous amount of tweakability within AmpliTube 5 and from the HX Stomp. You can make it sound brilliant, but I think you have to have a real inherent understanding of what those amps sound like. You know, I spent ages tweaking the HX Stomp. I've gigged with this loads. I use this DI'd into straight all the time. That's a great preset. The new Princeton is killer. The Matchless one I love. The Marshall, all kinds of stuff. This I use all the time for basically like sessions, online stuff. People send me and ask me to do things. 9 times out of 10, AmpliTube is my go-to for that. But to make it sound like an AC30, you need to know what an AC30 sounds like. To make it sound like a Plexi, you need to know what a Plexi sounds like. So I'll leave it up to you guys. You decide. Tell me what you think. I'm gonna say that for ease of use and getting a great sound almost immediately, this is amazing. AmpliTube, you know, it's so usable, or you could use it for anything. For convenience, the HX Stomp is fantastic. I spent years arguing with the guys at Line 6 about the validity of modelled stuff versus real stuff. Mr. Hindmarsh, Paul, and a very old mate of mine, you know, but it's amazing, and it's so tweakable. You can do so much with it, especially if you have the reference knowledge of what these things really sound like. Watch rig rundowns, you know. If you want to know what a Tweed Deluxe sounds like, or an AC30, watch a U2 rig rundown. If you want to know what vintage Tweed stuff sounds like, watch a Joe Bonamassa rig rundown, etc, etc. It's all there on the internet. But that kind of knowledge is essential, and if you want plugins or emulation things like the Helix to sound really, really good, you've got to know what the real thing sounds like. And this is the real thing, and in my mind, it's pretty much unbeatable, especially when you're playing live, or if you have the ability to record in a studio. But that's just my opinion, which is pretty meaningless. So let me know what you think. Cheers, guys. Just a quick point, very soon I will have all of the cool new Gretsch, Charvel, Jackson stuff from the NAMM show. As soon as it starts to come through, I should be whacking up a load of vids, so I'm looking forward to that. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. My name is Damon, and I'll see you soon.